Yeah. Specification of the state of the system is by position and momentum, isn't it? So position and momentum, because once you now position and momentum at any one instant of time, that means you know everything about the system, you know future of the system. You can find any quantity at any other instant of time. Okay. Yeah. So again, we have taken one particle in 3D like this, isn't it? So we call that one as, I think, mu space. Okay, this is called as mu space. Mu space. Now let me take a look at here. Let me start with. I hope you know what is the degree of freedom, isn't it? What is the degree of freedom? Number of coordinates required to specify the motion, isn't it? Like that. Yeah. So here, one particle in one dimension. What was degree of freedom? So what was the dimension of phase space? Shall I write d? So phase space dimension 2, isn't it? So what was the degree of freedom? One particle in two dimension. The degree of freedom 2. Degree of freedom is equal to 2. Phase space dimension 4. Degree of freedom 3. Phase space dimension 6. Is that okay? Usually phase space dimension will be 2 times degree of freedom. Is that okay? Phase space dimension will be 2 times degree of freedom. Now let me start with 2 particles in one dimension. Yeah. Oh, I have taken only one particle. One particle here. Let me come to many particles later, but it doesn't matter. Classically, particles are always distinguishable. If you are representing by classically, I mean this is classical representation. Are you getting my point? Because you are specifying position and momentum simultaneously, isn't it? Classical, pure classical. In classically, particles are always distinguishable. Okay, yeah. Now let me take 2 particles in one dimension. What is the degree of freedom? 2 particles in one dimension. What is the degree of freedom? 2, isn't it? Degree of freedom is equal to 2. So now look at here. So how do you say 2? You need, so one position for one particle, x1, x2, px1, px2. Shall I write so like this? Okay, one dimension. 2 particles in one dimension, where x1, x2 are position of first and second particle, px1 and px2 are positions. For second particle. So now look at here, 2 particles. Okay, for first particle, second particle, first particle, second particle, isn't it? Now what is the dimension of the phase space again? 4 again. Is it okay? 4 again. So 2 particles in one dimension. Is that okay? So this one x1 comma px1, this gives position and momentum of first particle. X2 comma px2 gives position and momentum of second particle. Is that okay? Similarly, so 2 particles in 2D, what would happen? Yeah, 2 particles in 2D. What is degree of freedom? 4, isn't it? So how do you write? x1, x2, y1, y2. That's better. So px1, px2, py1, py2, isn't it? 2 particles in 2D. What is the dimension of phase space? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that okay? So similarly, 2 particles in 3D, what would happen? Double, 12, isn't it? So 12 will be the dimension. Now look at here. Let me take the most general one. Similarly, let me proceed this argument. Let me take n particles in 3D. That is the most general. Am I right? N particles in 3 dimensions. n particles in 3 dimensions. So what is the degree of freedom? Degree of freedom, sometimes we write like this, or F. 3n, am I right? 3n is the degree of freedom. So because you need 3n coordinate to represent that one. Is that okay? You need 3n coordinates to represent that one. So now, yeah, how do you write those coordinates? Better to write r1 vector, r2 vector, and so on up to rn vector. Am I right? Where r1 vector is a position vector of first particle, because you are talking about 3 dimensions. Is that okay? R1 is the position vector of first particle, R2 is the position vector of second particle. Each of them contain x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, like that. So shall I write like this? This contains x1, y1, z1. This contains x2, y2, z2. This contains so xn, yn, zn. Is that okay? Yeah. Those are position of the particle. I need totally 1, 2, 3 again and so on. So n times 3n coordinates to specify the so motion of the particle. That's why we say degree of freedom equal to 3n. Am I right? So now what is the space? So space dimension. That is always 2 into f. So can you remember? 2 times degree of freedom, that's equal to 6n. 6n dimensional phase space. And we call this one as 6n dimensional phase space. We call, I think, this one as toe space, okay? Toe space. Again, we left with only symbolical. So dimension is too high, isn't it? Now what we do here, we write Q here, we write P here. Q means position, usually. P means momentum, okay, usually. And any one point, it corresponds to R1 vector, R2 vector, and so on up to Rn vector. Is that okay? And P1 vector, momentum of first particle, 3 dimension. Okay, I'm talking about 3 dimension. That's why I have to write vector. Okay, P1 vector, P2 vector, and so on up to Pn vector. Or you can write x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2, and so on up to xn, yn, zn. Px1, py1, pz1, px2, py2, pz2, and so on. Totally 6n coordinates. Is that okay? Any one point in this hypothetical space, so that will talk about position and momentum of all n particles. Is that okay? Any one point represents positions, so any one point contains information about position and momentum of all particles, all n particles. Is that okay? That is the imagination here. Yeah, any question? Yeah, that is so another position and momentum, isn't it? Yeah, so same system. Are you getting my point? 6n dimensional phase space. I can represent n particle system in 3 dimensions in this space. N particle system in 3 dimensions. Is that okay? So I have taken one example. So suppose x1 naught, x2 naught, like that. Is that okay? So, but you better to write like this, okay? This point corresponds to R1, R2, and so on up to Rn. Because 3 dimension, you have to write position as a position vector, okay? But each of these contains 3 coordinates. R1 contains 3, x1, y1, z1, like that. So, totally it becomes 3n already, okay? Similarly, P1, P2, and so on up to Pn. Is that okay? Each of these momentum contains 3 components again. Is that okay? Totally, each point will represent the state of whole system. Shall I say like that? Yeah, wait a second. Let me come to those words later. So now the state of whole n particle system. How do you represent that one? I need to specify each particle's position and momentum. I have n particle in 3 dimensions. To specify the state of whole system together, I need to specify individually, so position and momentum of each particle. So now that will be specified by the point in a phase space. Because a point in a phase space will talk about so position and momentum. So n position vector and momentum vector. Is that okay? So sometimes, yeah, you can write this one in terms of x, y, z also. Okay. So sometimes what we write here is, look at here carefully. Since we have representing, so we have taken q for position, p for momentum. Sometimes what we write here is, so q1, q2 and so on up to q3n. We write like this. So you have 3n position coordinate, but here I have written n, but each of these position vector that contains 3 coordinate. Okay, totally 3n, isn't it? That's what you have. So that what we are going to write like this: q1, q2 and so on up to q3n. Where you can take first 3 for r1, next 3 for r2, like that, last 3 for rn. Are you getting my point? This is the another way of writing that one. So while deriving or something, we may use this one. And similarly, P1, P2 and so on up to P3n. We write like this also. Because there are 3n position coordinate, 3n momentum coordinate. Am I right? Write down that one somewhere. 3n position coordinate, 3n momentum coordinate. But this is very visible, okay? This one is very visible, where r1 vector is the position vector of first particle, r2 vector is the position vector of second particle, so that for nth particle, okay? But this is a book definition. It's not visible. So which is the coordinate of which particle, okay? But you can use this one when you take whole system together. When you are not distinguishing individual particle, you can take this one. Isn't it? It doesn't matter for us which part, we are not talking about individual particle, we are talking about the whole system. Whole system have got 3n coordinate, 3n momentum, 3n position and 3n momentum. You can write like that. So remember, all of this contains and so on. Is that okay? x1, y1, z1 and so on. A point in a phase space corresponds to state of the system. Corresponds to a state. Because position and momentum may change, isn't it? Then phase point will change. Point in a phase space A point in a phase space corresponds to a state of a system. Yeah, any question here? We are going to use this one also, okay? So this whole thing, we are going to write q1, q2 and so on up to q3. Yeah. This is pure classical representation because We are specifying position and momentum simultaneously, isn't it? Yeah, purely classical. So now let me take one more type, again specification of say state of the system. One more type. So for example, so I have, yeah, yes, taken that example somewhere here. Yeah, so let me take one spin half particle, fixed in position, immersed in external magnetic field or in external magnetic field. Okay, I have external magnetic field. I have one spin half particle fixed in position. It doesn't have any translation x, y, z or something. You don't have to write that one. Okay, you don't have to go for space for its translation. It is fixed in position. Is it okay? But it is placed in external magnetic field. Now, how do you specify the state of the system? Why do we need state of the system? So, spin half particle, it will have magnetic moment. Am I right? So, there will be interaction term. What is that one? That Hamiltonian. Or sometimes in this one we write like this: energy is equal to minus mu dot B, isn't it? So, or let me write it as H, isn't it? So now again what we do, we are going to write mu is equal to some gyromatic ratio into S. Then we take what do you call, so we assume B is along Z axis. Then we take eigenvalues of Hamiltonian. Am I right? What we do, we have done similar. Am I right? So how do you write Hamiltonian now? Yeah, you are saying that it is very alien. Minus gamma, so B into Sz. So shall I write like this? Gamma B into Sz. Now what are its eigenvalues? Sz eigenvalues are plus or minus h bar by 2. Am I right? So for plus h bar by 2, so look at here, E plus minus gamma B plus h bar by 2. So for minus h bar by 2, minus plus will happen. Yeah, minus, let it be as it is, B minus h bar by 2. Am I right? These are two energies. Energies are eigenvalues of Hamiltonian. Am I right? When you place that one in external magnetic field, this is the Hamiltonian. There is no translation motion. There is no p square by 2m kinetic energy and all. Is that okay? Only magnetic interaction, magnetic moment interaction. Because spin half particle will have magnetic moment. That magnetic moment is related to spin of the particle, spin angular momentum. And this is gyromatic ratio that depends on the situation, whether it is proton, neutron or electron. Okay? Yeah. Am I right? Now look at here, you have two different state of the system. We called one is spin up, other is spin down, isn't it? I think we called this one as spin up, this one as spin down. Am I right? Yeah, plus h bar by 2 as spin up, minus h bar by 2 as spin down. Again, we shall discuss, okay? There was small ambiguity. I told why it is called as spin up, okay? Why it is called as spin down. So, yeah, we shall talk about that one later, because I need to get into gamma and what is the value of gamma, what is the, whether there is one more multiplicative factor will be there in that gamma, okay? One more negative will be there for electron in gamma, one more negative sign will be there in the gamma. So, let it be. Let it be. We say this one spin up, this one spin down. Am I right? So then, I mean, we have two different state of the system. One is it can align along, I mean, it can be spin up along the magnetic field, or it can be spin down along the magnetic field, isn't it? So now, how do you specify that one? How do you specify that one? I need something to specify, isn't it? How do you specify that one? State of the system. Because now in statistical physics, we need to count, isn't it? First, we need to count all possibilities, isn't it? So that's why we need to specify that one so that we can count. That's what we have done earlier. So again, let me tell you how to count here. In case of phase space, let me tell you how to count. It's a little difficult, but let me tell you how. So the method here. Are you getting my point? Ultimately, we need to count how many states are there. Head, tail, how many possibilities, isn't it? You counted it. Yeah, this is classical explanation. Wait a second. Let me come to this point. Okay, whatever. You have state of the system, am I right? Two different situations, two different state, two different energy. So you need something to specify, isn't it? You can specify it by wave function. I mean, not wave function. I mean, your ket vector, am I right? Your ket vector, 1, 0, 0, 1, like that, isn't it? But that's not a good idea because here we need count. We are not going to do anything with those vectors, okay? We are not going to use those vectors. We need a count. So that's why specification should be still more simple, okay? So what we do here is we are going for MS value. What is MS value? S equal to half, am I right? Spin half particle. MS value equal to plus or minus half. MS equal to plus half for this one. MS equal to minus half for this one. Because Sz eigenvalues are, better to write MS, M prefix S, because we have M for L, M for J, so everything, isn't it? Better to write MS here for only spin, okay? So MS here. Is that okay? Where MS equal to plus or minus half, isn't it? If you specify that MS value, that means you know the state of the system. You are specifying the state of the system. Is that okay? So now look at here. I can specify state of the system by specifying MS value. Shall I write like this? Specification of state by MS value. That's better. No need of H bar. Because again, as I told, we want to make it as simple as possible. We need a count to apply our probabilistic. Yeah. So we can say MS equal to plus half is one state, MS equal to minus half is other state. In this case, I think we write E plus is the energy, E minus is the energy. Am I right? Just like if you change position and momentum, your energies may change. Am I right? Potential energy, kinetic energy, that may change. Yeah. Now suppose I have n spin half particles, again fixed, immersed magnetic field. Again read RIF, okay? You can understand each and everything now, okay? Read that one soon after the class. So not after 1 week or 2 weeks, okay? After 1 week, there will be no difference between the concept that I taught and I haven't taught. Are you getting my point? Yeah, n spin half particle, each are fixed in position. Again, don't go for phase space because they are not moving at all. Is that okay? They are all fixed in space. Suppose you are taking some magnetization situation, solid, where each atom is spin half. Is that okay? Now, how do you specify the state of the system? Now, you need to specify whether first particle is spin up and spin down. You have external magnetic field, isn't it? Whether second particle is spin up or spin down, third particle is spin up or spin down, isn't it? Now, you have to specify the state of the system. Let me write M1, M2, M3, okay? Let me just get rid of this S. If I have S again, I can't write 1, 2, 3, okay? M1, M2, and so on up to Mn. What are these M's? Magnetic, spin magnetic quantum number. okay, of individual atoms. Is that okay? So now I can say like that, okay. So now this is the most general one. Let me take again 3 spin-half particles. That's best way, okay, as a special case. Now look at here. Let me say, one state of the system may be like this: first particle spin up, second particle spin down. So last particle again spin up. Isn't it? I can have this is the one of the possible state of the system. Don't write everything half, okay. Spin equal to half, S equal to half, okay. M value is minus half or plus half. Okay, this says first particle is spin up along external magnetic field, second particle is spin down, so and so on, nth particle is spin up. That is one of the possible state of whole system. And you need to represent that one together. Just like here we try to represent the whole n particle system by a point in phase space. That point talks about n coordinate and 3n coordinate and 3n momentum, isn't it? Similarly, we need these many integers, these many numbers, half integer usually, isn't it? These many number to specify the state of the system. Am I right? Now, as a special case, take 3 spin-half particles. 3 spin-half particle, again fixed in space, placed in external magnetic field. Then you can write M1, M2, state of the system. Am I right? You can write like this. This is one of the possible state, plus half, plus half, plus half. All are spin up for 3 particle system. Again, what I am writing M values for each atom. For first atom, for second atom, for third atom, isn't it? So for first is spin up, second is spin up, third is spin down. Like that, you can write how many possibilities? 8 possibilities, isn't it? Wait a second, we better to write this one. Wait a second. We better to write that one very clearly. Okay, 3 spin-half particle. Are equal or they are all are same mass, everything is same. Yeah, you can have that situation. In that situation, there will be no net magnetization. And you will have that situation when you apply high temperature. Let me come to that point. Okay. Now, when that becomes n by 2, when probability of spin up is equal to probability of spin down, your average will be half, isn't it? Yeah, we should see that situation. Yeah, 3 spin-off particle. Okay, let me take, suppose ms equal to plus half, energy will be equal to minus mu what I have written, do you remember? Gamma B h bar by 2. Am I right? This gamma h bar by 2 sometimes we call this one as Bohr magneton, okay? Or nuclear magnetron. For proton, we define nuclear magneton, or sometimes, okay? If I take electron, we define this one as Bohr magneton, mu gamma into h bar by 2. So whatever, okay? Let me write it like this. Suppose energy equal to, wait a second, energy equal to, for plus half, energy is equal to, let me take energy is equal to minus mu dot h, okay? Let me take like that. Usually in book they will take H for magnetic field. Why? Because next one, beta will come as a Boltzmann factor, not to get confusion with that Boltzmann factor. That's why we will not use B symbol, okay, for magnetic field. We use H symbol, not to get confusion with, again, Hamiltonian. That's not Hamiltonian. Magnetic field. So that's why we write for Ms equal to plus half, energy is equal to minus mu H. For Ms equal to minus half, energy is equal to plus mu into H. Okay, so that example is there in Reef. Just see that one. Okay, let me take this situation. Okay, so when any atom is have Ms equal to plus half, its energy equal to minus mu H, minus half plus mu H. Okay, now let me write all possibility. Okay, M1, M2, M3. M1, M2, M3. Okay, in one column. In other column, yeah, these are state. Am I right? These are state. Yeah, he writes total magnetic moment, but that is that doesn't matter for me. Total magnetic moment. Yeah, for total magnetic moment is needed to define magnetization usually, isn't it? You need magnetization is total magnetic moment per unit volume. Yeah, so total magnetic moment, or let me write energy. Okay, energy is sufficient. From energy we can grab magnetization answer. Okay, so total the state of the system is usually denoted by R, small r. Okay, state of the system, whole system. So what is the first state? Plus half, plus half, plus half. When all are plus half, plus half, plus half, you got 3 spin-off particle. Okay, what is the total energy? Minus mu H, minus mu H, minus mu H. What is the total energy? Yeah. So let me call that the first state of the particle. Okay. So similarly, second one, plus half, minus half. First write down this one. Plus half, plus minus half, plus half. Am I right? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0. It's very difficult by saying 0 and writing half. 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, yeah, plus half, 1, 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that okay? Again, what is the energy here? Got cancelled. Minus mu H. Yeah, here. Minus mu H. Wait a second. Here. Got cancelled. When Ms equal to minus half. Plus mu H. Is that okay? Plus mu H. Wait a second. Plus mu H. I better to plus mu H. What is this one? Minus mu H. So plus mu H. Again plus mu H. 3 mu H. 3 mu H. Last one. Now look at here. Now total number of possible state 8, isn't it? Total number of possible state is 8. Now look at here. You have to observe one thing here, okay? Now let me ask one question. Question is, what is the total number of possible states? Number, okay? Total number of possible states corresponding to total energy minus mu into h. What is the total number of possible states corresponds to total energy minus mu into h? Yeah, 3, isn't it? You got 3 possibility. This one, and this one, isn't it? So answer is 3. Am I right? What are those? So plus half, minus half. Shall I write in flower bracket? One possible state, other possible state, plus half, minus half, plus half. What is the other state? The other state, minus half, plus half, plus half. Am I right? First one is magnetic quantum number for first atom, second atom, third atom. We have 3 spin half particle. Okay. All these 3 have the same energy. Is it okay? Have the same energy? Now we call each of them individual thing, each of them as an elements of ensemble. We call this one as ensemble. Okay. So we call each of them as an elements of ensemble. Is that okay? Now what do you mean by ensemble? Collection of all states of the system which has same total energy. Okay. So same total energy roughly. Okay. So later we can define for total volume, total number like that. Okay. We call them as elements of ensemble. And we call each element as microstate. Is that okay? We call each element as microstate. All of these are called as microstates. Can you write a couple of sentences? Elements of ensemble. Elements of ensemble which all corresponds to same total energy, is called as microstates. We say this is for one microstate, this is other microstate, this is third microstate. Microstates. These are called as microstate. Why micro? Because it will talk about some microscopic thing, isn't it? What is happening to individual thing. We haven't seen, in this way actually. So when we have very large number of particles, suppose if I take thermodynamics, we have seen only together, what you call, pressure, volume, temperature. So together, those are called as macroscopic property. Okay, macro, M-A-C-R-O. Okay, these are called as microscopic, isn't it? So you are trying to look at each atom and you are trying to find which atom is spin up, pin down, isn't it? We call them as microstate of the system. Okay, yeah. Now how many microstates are there corresponds to minus mu h? We say 3 microstates are there. So we say in that ensemble we have 3 elements, 3 microstates. Okay, yeah. Yeah, now the question. 4 spin half particle. Question. 4 spin half particle. 4 spin half particles in external magnetic field. Okay, H means external magnetic field, not Hamiltonian. In external magnetic field. So, what is the total number of microstates corresponds to zero total energy? Yeah, can you quickly? 4 spin half particle in external magnetic field. We may have the situation 2 are spin up, 2 are spin down, then total energy is 0, like this, isn't it? Here we had only 3. That's why total energy was not balanced, isn't it? Yeah. 4. How? So think over it. Or write something. What is that one? Plus half, minus half, minus half. Like that, take all. So permutation. How many? How many? Four possibility. Plus half, minus half, plus half, minus half. Then minus half, plus half, plus half. Then minus half, plus half, minus half, plus half. Any other possibility? Minus half, plus half, minus half, plus half. Okay. So minus half, plus half, minus half. So plus half. Can you have any? So do you have any other? No, I mean, do you have any permutation or combination way of finding this? 2 factorial? Yeah, that's better, isn't it? You have 4, isn't it? Out of them, 2 are of one type, 2 are of other type. That's it. 4 into 3, 12, divided by 2 will remain. Am I right? 6. 6 possibility. Am I right? 4 factorial. 4 into 3 into 2 factorial. Am I right? Divided by 2 factorial, 2 factorial. Are you getting my point? That is the best way. No need to again take all of this, isn't it? Look at here. You may miss something here. When you do this one, you may miss something. So I have written here, okay, if EMS is equal to plus half, energy is equal to minus mu into H. Is that okay? You have 3 atoms. Plus half, corresponding energy is minus mu H, plus half, minus mu H, plus half, minus mu H. You have to add, okay? So when you have 3 particle system, how do you write total energy? Addition of energy of individual particle. Am I right? That's what I'm writing here, okay? You have 3 spin half particle here. How I have written total energy? By adding the energy of individual. And here I know first particle is spin up, second particle is spin up, third particle is spin up. So spin up particle have got energy minus mu into H. I have 3 atoms, that's why minus 3 mu H. Okay? Like that. So you have one is spin up, other is spin down, isn't it? So minus mu H corresponds to this one plus mu H. Is that okay? Here I have talked, I was talking about only one particle. If that particle is spin up, energy is this one. If particle is spin down, energy is this one. For one particle, this one. Okay, I have 3 particles here, 3 spin half atoms here. Okay. Yeah, what is the total number of microstates? That's equal to, yeah, what is the total number of microstate corresponds to energy 2 mu h? Total number of microstate corresponds to energy 2 mu into h. Now we will not take care of that gyrometric ratio and so on, okay? We will consider either energy minus mu h or plus mu h, okay? So we are not getting into that what is exactly those particles, why that spin occurs or something, okay? Energy is again plus or minus mu into h, that is the energy. If it is spin up minus mu h, spin down plus mu h, just like here. Is that okay? Yeah, now my question is, what is the total number of, so total number of microstate if total energy is 2 mu into h. So when it will happen? When 2 are spin up? No. 3 are spin down. Am I right? Minus half, minus half, minus half, plus half, isn't it? Plus mu h energy for spin down particle, plus mu h, plus mu h 3 mu h, minus mu h 2 mu h. Am I right? That means you have again 4 out of them. 3 are of one type, 1 is other type. What is this one? 4 again. I have 4 microstates for this total energy. For this total energy. Yeah. Now shall I proceed? We take a little roughly, okay, energy equal to plus or minus mu h, okay. We will not take care of what is that mu. Actually, mu is Bohr magneton if you take electron in an atom, okay. Yeah. Again, extend this question to 2 mu h, okay. Now let me get you one more example. Example is, suppose one particle in 1D linear harmonic oscillator. Actually, we should not say it is in oscillator. We have to say it is in linear harmonic potential. Okay, harmonic potential. One particle in V of x equal to half m omega square x square. Is that okay? Now, how do you, quantum particle, suppose. Okay? How do you specify the state of the system? Classically, x and px. Okay? Classically, x and px. So, yeah, let me take both of them. Okay? One particle in the harmonic oscillator, let me take both of them. So, quantum mechanically, or classically first. Classically, that is one-dimensional oscillation, am I right? If it is one-dimensional motion, I can represent that one by x and px, am I right? And I can represent that what you call x and px, and I can represent that one in phase space. State of the system by a point in phase space. Wait a second, we shall draw phase space diagram. Wait a second. Classically, when one particle is in this kind of potential, harmonic potential, your total energy is usually constant. Am I right? This is a constant. Now look at here. So divide the whole thing by E. What would you get? 1 is equal to P square divided by, look at here, the root of 2m E the whole square plus x square by 2e by m omega square under root the whole square. What is this one? X square by a square, y square by b square equal to 1. Am I right? What is this one? That is ellipse centered at the origin. Am I right? There is an ellipse centered at the origin. Look at here. That's your, what is this one? That is the relation between x and px. X and px are related by this ellipse equation. That means So we call this one as phase-space trajectory for simple harmonic oscillator. Is that okay? Let me talk about this one. We need to talk much about this one, okay? I mean, so once you know that phase-space trajectory, that means you know everything about the system. Look at, okay? So again, it will have one, what you call, direction also, okay? Let me talk about that one in classical mechanics. But look at here. So for this energy, suppose I can specify a point at some certain instant of time, particle is in this state, isn't it? What is the state means? That position, that momentum, isn't it? Actually, this is your extreme position where your momentum equal to 0. One extreme position. This is your other extreme position where again your momentum equal to 0. So these are mean position where again x equal to 0 but momentum is very high. And other position. We shall talk about this one. Now, what is the specification? Specification is x and px. Okay, I am talking about specification of state of the system. I am just talking about specification of state of the system. The same particle quantum mechanically, how do you specify the state of the system? Yeah, we shall talk about phase-space diagram again in classical mechanics, okay? Yeah, quantum mechanically. Energy, what is energy? N plus half h bar omega, am I right? What is N? 0, 1, 2. Now, what is the specification of state of the system? Earlier, what I have taken for spin half particle? ms value, am I right? Now, what I have to take here? N value. Is that okay? N value is the specification of state of the system. N equal to 0 means it is in the ground state, N equal to 1 means it is in the first excited state, isn't it? Specification of the state. State of the system is by N. By giving that quantum number, isn't it? Again, if you have many harmonic oscillator, then you can write N1, N2, N3 like that, isn't it? Again, you can generalize this one for 2 dimension, 3 dimension. For 3 dimension, actually, you will have 3 quantum numbers, isn't it? 3-dimensional harmonic oscillator, you will have 3 quantum numbers. You need to specify 3 integers to specify the state of the system. Yeah. Why not quantum number? Quantum number means it talks about some quantized thing, that's it. No, not principal quantum number. It's not principal quantum number. This is one-dimensional problem. Is that okay? Don't again mix with hydrogen atom. We call that one as quantum number because it will talk about some quantization, that's it. Is that okay? Not principal quantum number. So whether, I mean, how do you say it is in the ground state, first excited state? By specifying this N value, isn't it? So why we are doing that one? Because we don't need energy, we don't need energy or wave function. We don't need wave function. Actually, so the state of the system is talked by the wave function, isn't it? So, but we don't need wave function. We need just a count. So that's why we are just specifying that one, okay? Yeah. Again, you can extend the argument to other one. Again, read out this example, okay? He has listed example 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. Just read out that one soon after the class, okay? Is that okay? Actually, these all are collection of all possible points. Collection of all possible points, that becomes one trajectory. So after this one, for next second or next time instant, it will go here, it will go here, it will go here, and it will move on. Okay, we say that phase point will move in a phase space, and that will trace a trajectory. We say like that. Yeah, that's how you define a line, isn't it? Line is a collection of points. That you can say like that, isn't it? Each and every point is a state of the system. when you collect them for all instant of time, when you collect them, that becomes one trajectory. We call that one space-space trajectory. Okay, let me talk about space-space trajectory later. Now again, let me go to n particle system in 3 dimension, a pure classical view. N particles in 3D. So, phase to 6 n dimensional phase space. We are going to represent that one by 6 dimensional phase space. Am I right? Suppose, let me take the best example is, we call this one as sometimes toe space. Let me again come to this one. Best example is n particles. Suppose Avogadro number of particles in one chamber. Okay, in cubical chamber. Suppose that's better, isn't it? In a cubical chamber. Either okay, best example. Those are particles are gas molecules. Okay, suppose oxygen molecule, each and every one. N oxygen molecule in a chamber, in a cubical chamber. Is that okay? A closed chamber. Now look at here. Earlier I tried to interpret something with the total energy and all here, isn't it? So now similarly, here let me isolate this system. Okay, there is no exchange of energy. There is no flow of energy from inward or outward, isn't it? Total energy is constant. Isn't total energy of this all, this contain Avogadro number of particles, molecules, is that okay? So total energy is equal to constant, but for one total energy, suppose if you leave the system, with respect to time, each and every particle is moving, it is attaining different position, different momentum, am I right? Are you getting my point? When you just leave that one with respect to time, each particle is attaining different position and different momentum with the total energy same. Because I am just isolating the system, so there is no flow of energy outward or inward. Is that okay? So there will be very large number of phase points or very large number of collections of position and momentum for a same total energy. Are you getting my point? Total energy is same. When you leave with respect to time, look at here, they are moving in a random motion, again random motion, isn't it? Each particle, and they are attaining different position and momentum, isn't it? So now, look at here, if you have one phase point, that will talk about, now let me go to Q01, Q02 and so on up to Q03N, so P01, P02 and so on up to P03N. That's better, isn't it? This is the best way. There are 6n dimension, 3n coordinate, 3n position coordinate, 3n momentum coordinate, isn't it? Yeah, look at here. Now look at here, this phase point, this is for some instant of time, am I right? I have located this phase point, I am collecting the positions and momentum. I have collected positions and momentum at one instant of time. When you leave that one, being the system isolated, when you leave that one with respect to time, it is attaining different phase point, isn't it? Because its position and momentum will change. Position and momentum of each particle will change. It will hit other particle. It will change its direction. It will change its velocity, isn't it? So now there are lot of, you can't measure, count that one. So there are lot of infinitely many, this kind of collection of these values corresponds to same total energy, isn't it? We call those individual as microstate. Is that okay? We call those individual things as microstates. Now this is one of the microstate of the system. Why I said microstate? Because I'm locating the information, I'm grabbing information of individual particle. I'm grabbing information of position and momentum of individual particle. That's why I call it as microstate. Okay. For a given total energy, suppose if you take a gaseous system, for a given total energy, you have infinitely many microstate. So microstate means different position and different momentum. Is that okay? Yeah. Again, all of collection of all of those microstate, we call that one as ensemble. Okay. Now, how many elements are there in this ensemble? Uncountable. You can't count that one because they are attaining. I mean, once it moves in a space, once a particle moves in a space, it is. I mean, a line. How many points a line contains? Infinitely many points. Is that it? So you can't count that one. Okay. Again, our next aim is to count that one. Still it is uncountable. Am I right? Number of microstate is uncountable because each particle is attaining different position, different momentum. So even if you live for 1 second, you got lot of collection of positions and momentum, isn't it? So now, so to collect all of those points, you have to leave that one for infinitely many time. I mean infinite amount of time. So that each and every particle will attain all possible position, all possible momentum. Are you getting my point? If you want to collect, or if you want to have all possible microstate, you have to leave that one for infinite time, so that each particle will attain all possible momentum, all possible position, so that you will have all possible collection of point in a phase space. Is that okay? Yeah. So these set of numbers, okay, sometimes he is writing like this, okay, Q1, Q2 and so on up to QF. F is the degree of freedom. This is the most general, okay, just read the book. And P1, P2 and so on up to PF. That's better, isn't it? 3n for n number of particle in 3 dimension for 3n, isn't it? Suppose n number of particle in 2 dimension, then you need to change this one. Again, you need to think, isn't it? So this is also best way, isn't it? So that F will take care. Degree of freedom will take care, okay? Yeah. Now the question is, so number of microstate in this situation, again, each of those microstate is defined by these numbers. So positions and momentum, that is uncountable. The question is how to count that one, because unless we count that one, we can't talk about probability. Am I right? Our next aim is to apply some probability thing, then we need to count all of the possible states, isn't it? So just like, again, the same thing happens for spin half particle also. If you have Avogadro number of particles, if you have Avogadro number of particles, so again, so it's very difficult to count that one, isn't it? Count total number of state corresponds to total energy, okay? Yeah. So here we need idea to count total number of microstates actually. Yeah, so time. Again, we better to close it here. Again, if I start out, it takes a lot of time. Can you read out this one? Quickly finish out this one, okay? I mean, first chapter, all problems, second chapter, beginning reading, okay? All examples. Yeah. How do you count that one now? How do you count that one? Because even if you leave this one for 1 second, it will attain lot of phase points, isn't it? We call that one as phase-space trajectory. Yeah, when we go to quantum mechanical, suppose n particles, okay, n particle in 3 dimension. Suppose if you treat them quantum mechanically, you can't specify like this, isn't it? You can't specify position and momentum simultaneously. Then what would you do? It can have range of position, range of momentum. Am I right? It can have range of position, range of momentum. You can say system is within one small region of a phase space. You can't say this is you can't put a point in a phase space and you can't say this is the state of the system. Why? Whenever you put a point in a phase space, you are talking about very specified x component of position and x component of momentum of each particle. Similarly, y and z component, isn't it? So whenever you take quantum mechanical description, that phase space trajectory will be actually blurred. Blurred means you can't have trajectory. You should have, you can say at one instant of time, it can be anywhere within one region of a space. Again, that's also imaginary because this is 6 n dimension. That we call it as space volume, okay? That's also imaginary because again, because of high dimension, okay? Yeah. The next point that I want to convince here is how to count that one again. Yeah. How to count that one? Suppose you have phase space trajectory here. How to count that one? Yeah. How do you count number of states? Or let me take very simple case. Our very simple case was, what is that one? Harmonic oscillator. Am I right? One dimensional harmonic oscillator, px and x. Am I right? This was phase space trajectory, complete phase space trajectory. Am I right? Now, how do you count? How many states are there? How do you count that one? Yeah. So now the option, I think this is the only option we left. What we do here is, it looks very silly. We are going to divide phase space into small region. Is that okay? Suppose we say, the region is divided like this. Suppose this one is, we call this one as delta px. So this one we call that one as delta x. Is that okay? Delta px, delta x. Now actually this delta px into delta x, that should be of the order of, wait a second. When you multiply momentum to position, you will get angular momentum dimension. Am I right? So we write that one as h naught. Okay, h naught. We write that one as h naught, some constant. Okay, I'm not talking about Planck constant. Okay, because classically I can specify the state of the system with any accuracy, isn't it? Simultaneously. So I'm talking about classical thing. Okay, if you go for quantum mechanical, this may become Planck constant. Is that okay? So now look at here. What I say here is, yeah, if particle is anywhere within this area, I count that one as one state. That corresponds to one state of the system. If particle is anywhere here, I count that one as other state. So to make it countable, where h naught is arbitrarily small, okay? You can make h naught as small as possible. But I need some finite h naught. I need to divide that phase space into finite region so that I can count that one. Isn't it? Because, so unless you divide that one, you can't count that one, because a line contains infinitely many points, isn't it? The very simple argument is, you had a line as a phase space trajectory, it contains infinitely many points, isn't it? How do you count that one? Yeah. Yeah, dividing that one by equal area. So in two-dimensional phase space, in case of 1D harmonic oscillator, dividing that one by equal area. Okay. Here in 6 n dimension, we call it one as dividing that one by equal volume. Each volume is of order Again, so each volume will be written as delta Q1, delta Q2, and so on up to delta Q3n. So delta P1, delta P2, and so on up to delta P3n. Is that okay? These two together will give one H naught. H naught. What is this one? H naught raised to 3n. Better to write F here. Phase space volume is of the order of H naught raised to 3n, and H naught can be arbitrarily small classically because there is no uncertainty. Uncertainty is not restricting that H naught value. Is that okay? Still again we are taking H naught arbitrarily small, again making it as number of state again infinity, isn't it? Why we need that one? Are you getting my point? While doing this kind of thing, we will get a relation, functionality. You can derive it out. Okay? So once we get that one, yeah, we shall see in the